This is the Bulldog 3D. I'm Darren. Today we're going to look at 3D printing in my office and how it's helping me with my workspace with some functional designs. Let's take a look. First up, some cable winders. Now for me, I have drawers and drawers of cables. Trying to sort those out into small bins and small parts, and then wrapping the cable around or wrapping a tire around those and then putting them back and then taking them out. They just end up as being a mess. So for me, I came across these cable winders here, print in place. There's a hinge design on the top. So when I need a cable, I'll just pull these out, start unwinding to the length that I need, use them, and when I come to put them away, I'll just wind them back up. So I can put these in a drawer as they are. I don't have to worry about putting them in a specific place in the drawer. As you can see, I got a few here. I got some more over here. What I found was I have some longer or thicker cables than what these could cope with. So an octa slicer, I blew these up to 150%. So these are the original. Well, these are the ones that have been blown up. Again, print in place. Hinge design, if you want to open them up. Practical and functional. Well, these are just long USB-C cables. I have several different types that I printed. I also have these around my house where I don't need cable management. I'm not running cables along the floor or on the baseboard. It's just something that's plugged in next to a wall socket. And the cable is just too long, so I'll just put a cable winder in. I have one on my desk for my Bluetooth proxy for an ESP32 device for Home Assistant. And that brings me on to these cases. Several designs. There's these two that are shallow with pins showing. These two are deep with pins showing. And these two here have screw holes, so you can screw them to the wall, through a door, under a desk. And then these two are deep with no pinholes, and these two are shallow with no pinholes. If I look at my Bluetooth proxy, I don't need pinouts and pinholes to run anything with them. So for this one, I just printed one with no pinholes. The nice thing about these ones is they have different style lids depending on what you want to run on there. So the two that I typically use at the moment are ESP32 Bluetooth proxies and ESP32 WLED controllers. For the WLED controllers, let me turn the light off and I'll show you the light bar that I have. Now it's a little dark. Just to light up part of my desk. I don't know if you can see that. Turn off over here, this half of this part of my desk is lit. There's just a small light, and I can turn it on and off. But because it's a WLED, and you can change the effect if you wanted to. So I don't know how well that's coming out on camera. It's alright now, there's red and blue streaming through. Typically I'll leave these on a single color. And it's usually on white. It just lights up this part of my keyboard and this part of my desk. I have another one to build to go on this monitor, and we'll go through that today. This is in Slicer. When it originally downloads, these are horizontal. I printed them out horizontally first. It wants to do lots of tree supports, and the print didn't come out as cleanly as I would like. So I switched these around to print vertically, and then additionally with the way in which I'm connecting all my lights together, these end caps, they didn't fit as nicely as they do just because of the way I'm working. Some different end caps. I made them a little larger. The LED light bar, just remove that. Prints out a brim just to hold it steady because they're pretty thin pieces. Some there. And some tree supports that come away quite easily. And then on here there's some tree supports just in the middle. And so essentially this will fit into here. This side will go this way. And then we can pop that into there. So this section sits on the brim of the monitor. This sits behind. Depending on your monitor, you may need to put a little bit of weight on the bottom just to hold this in place. I'll put addressable LEDs all the way along here. I'll have an ESP32 running WLED, and that's plugged into my monitor. The way I'm using this, these end caps, they work fine. Fit on perfectly. However, the way in which I'm using WLED and the way in which I'm making some of my connections, I need to print bigger end caps. These are the regular size ones, and these are the slightly larger ones. If you were to solder your LEDs, you won't need that big end caps. You can use the smaller end caps. That's what it was designed for. The LED strip goes through here, the wires go through the back, and then they come out just a little space behind there, and they can bring them out, and then you can wire up your LEDs as needed. For the LED light strip, this may look a little daunting, but if you go step by step, it's actually quite easy, and there's no soldering. There's lots of just connectors that you snap together, and you just need to cut the wires to the right or to the desired length. On the light bar on my monitor, currently I use WLED with the ESP32 module like this. I've also tried it with a logic level shifter. For this application, it doesn't seem to make much difference, so I'm not going to use it. Some addressable LEDs. I have a connector, red, green, and white cable. This is a pre-installed, pre-configured WLED device. You don't have to do anything with it. You plug it in, follow the instructions. It will end up looking something like this. We'll put these in together. I have my laptop here. There we go. These don't need a lot of power. From the phone, you can change it to blue, red, green. Make sure your RGB colors are right. Set it on white. This is essentially all we're going to do. We'll add an extra cable between here and here just to go down the length of the LED light bar. First things first, let's unplug this. Cut this to the desired length. And this one. Try to cut it along the line. Cut easily on the LED strip. You should see that there's ground, data, and 5 volts. And on this strip, there's a little arrow that points from this end to this end. So connect up the power at this side, and this side there'll be nothing except for the end cap. Take that out, take this off for a moment. Now I'm just going to feed some wire in the back of there, down through here. You'll see the wire come out. Just get some fingers in there. This can pull down. Slide this back. It's probably about enough. I'll give myself a little bit more room. Cut this wire. So now we're going to take one of these connectors. One side is for wires and little cables, and the other side is to connect to the LED strip. There are metal pins in here, so we'll just drop this in there. Try and line up the metal pins with the metal here. I'll take this and just give it a quick squeeze. So we'll make sure this is securely connected. Remember which is my 5 volts, which is my data, and which is my ground. Data is going to be in the middle, red is going to be my 5 volts, and white will be my ground. Put these up, flip them from each other. 5 volts, data, ground. Okay, and then we can clamp this shut. Just push this back down. This is why I needed a slightly thicker end cap. I'm not going to stick it down just yet. there. And put this end cap on. And cover it just enough. Pop this end cap on, which covers that connector. Go through here, feed that into there. I'm gonna feed this through. And I'm probably gonna loop it around. Open up these wires. They go into these connectors, 3 cable connectors. 1, 2, 3, they're all in there easy. Clamp this one down. Up the other side. So these connectors come with the end showing. I'm just gonna snip that off. I'm gonna keep my red, green, and white on here. So red on this side, green in the middle, and white on the end. Clamp this down. Plug this in. And I'll plug this into here. And then I can change to red, blue, green. Or we can do cool effects if we wanted to. Go back to solid and colors. Now I'm going to test this to my monitor, hook it up to the USB outlet in the back of the monitor so it's powered from the monitor, turn it on and off, and have the other half of my desk lit up just as I showed you previously. So if I power off my 2 monitor lights and I power them back on, see it's a nice ambient light on my desk which lights up the things that I need, which is mostly the keyboard and mouse and the things that are right around me. Because I have large curved monitors, I'm going to adjust the angle of the LEDs and try and move them around and probably move them off center a little bit. As you saw, I have my phone on a stand. I have a 100mm or 10 centimeter wireless charger. Here, it's on the stand nicely, it starts to charge. When I first printed it out, this is what came out, and it's very similar to what I have. However, this space here was meant for a USB mini connector. I didn't realize at the time, and so couldn't get a USB-C cable through this gap here. I went into Tinkercad, added in some zero space to make this wider, and that solved that problem. Came out with this one, so this gap here ends up being wider than this one. What I failed to realize is trying to get a 90-degree corner into here, there wasn't enough room for my USB-C cable, so I went into Tinkercad and then made that space deeper back, so this is much deeper this way, deeper this way, and wider this way. That's what I ended up with this. Here's the original file. It's kind of thin and narrow right here, and it doesn't quite meet where the curve of the bottom of the phone holder is. However, on the one that I slightly redesigned, this is now wider and this is now taller, and so I can do the 90-degree turn on a USB-C cable. Possibly my favorite looking print, looks amazing. It's down here, and that is my headphone holder. I don't normally have it here for video purposes. It's usually over here, corner on the side, it's out of the way. Great design, screws up, there's a clamp, screws into the tape, not into the table, but screws tight. I'll show you putting that together now. Here's all the component pieces for the headphones. The screw goes through here, goes through quite easily. Nice threads, big threads. Screw that into there, and this slides into the slot here, and as you mount it to the table, screw all the way up. A really nice, functional, good looking print. I'll link to everything in the description below. The way this prints, essentially it does it by object. Each object will print on its own, and then the next object will start printing once the previous object is finished. There are no supports for this. That's all for this one. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. make some comments below. I'll leave links to all of the files that I've used in the description, along with any parts that I've used for the light bars. I'll leave several options that you can use WLED. Thanks again. See you all next time. Happy printing.